Right now it's 6, 2 crashes near Joplin, Missouri, with one collision involving a Jasper County deputy.
And we've got a slightly warmer start this morning, even with the passing cold front, but we will be cooler into the afternoon. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a solar company presents a revised proposal to residents of Crawford County, but not everyone is convinced.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday, February the 3rd. We are making our way into the month of love, at least for some folks. For others, it's the month of let's just get it over. Yeah. And even for those that do have somebody, it's expensive. And sometimes even for you, it's still a let's get this done. Here's some chocolates and a card, and happy Valentine's Day. That's coming up.
Very romantic, Chris.
I'm super romantic.
I'm sure your wife is going to love that sentiment.
I think I'm going to make a card myself. It's cheaper.
See, you need to like not add the cheaper part. That's an internal thought, Chris. And then you say, "I'll make a card because it's more heartfelt." Then you say cheaper in your mind.
Yeah, the thing is, like when the kids make me stuff, man, it does. And I'm being serious, it does warm my heart because they made it for you. It's not they went out and bought something, which is still special, though, because they put thought into that, especially the kids. But when they make you something, it means a little more. So hopefully,
and that's what you tell your wife instead of being like, "I didn't care enough to spend 99 cents at the dollar store."
Hey, they're more than 99 cents these days. Everything's gone up. There is no dollar store anymore.
For the cards, it still is. At the dollar store.
We'll get some real cards. So hopefully you're ready for Valentine's Day if you have to participate. Not you have to, if you would like to participate. It's not a half. It's just another way to show love. And I wish Mother Nature was showing us a little more love today, but we are going to be a little cooler as we head into the afternoon. But it showed us plenty of love yesterday.
Yes.
Looked pretty good. It was pretty nice out there. Got a lot of melting done. And how do we know? Well, you can go outside, or we can do that and show you the outside where you don't have to go outside, and you can see there's a lot less snow. Is there still snow? Yes. But is there as much as there was yesterday? No. We've got some melting done. Now, parking lots and stuff, where they've got the piles of snow, that's going to take a little longer. Of course, that live look down Pittsburgh. Excuse me. Westco camera, 7th and Range Line in Joplin. Again, that's what's going to take some time to clear, is those big piles of snow. Now, those big piles of snow, though, do present another issue. We're going to be seasonably cold the next couple of nights. That means back into the mid-20s. So some of that melting, especially onto the parking lots, could refreeze, so just keep that in mind. KDOT camera, 69 just north of Baxter. Less snow there as well. Same from the MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line in Joplin, looking back to the south. Taking a look at those temperatures this morning. Again, most of us are pretty good. There were some teens and 20s yesterday. Yates Center has now dropped to 29. Most of us still into the low to mid 30s. Down south, here's where that cold front is, just south of I-44. So we've got some 40s, 46 in Cassville, 44 Bentonville, 43 J, 41 Anderson. Earlier, Bentonville was at 47 as the warmer spot. Now it's Cassville's turn. But you'll all eventually cool back. We'll have a light north breeze back behind it. We do have some clearing. We have mostly cloudy skies right now, but we are seeing some clearing taking place this morning. It's brief. The clouds will begin to return across the area, and we'll stay mostly cloudy with maybe an isolated sprinkle or two, but overall chances of precipitation of any kind very low. Kids out the door this morning, we're into the low 30s, low 40s by lunch and recess, and about 44 as they head home today. So as I mentioned, a little cooler. Mid 30s by 9, low 40s by noon. Our highs today, low to mid 40s. Our average highs, upper 40s, so not a big drop from average, but about a 10-degree drop from yesterday. And we'll have those north winds around 5 to 10. We do have another cool day tomorrow. In fact, a little bit on the cold side tomorrow, and then we'll warm right back up. Go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Missouri State Highway Patrol is investigating a DWI crash near Carthage yesterday. Troopers say a southbound SUV left Country Club Road near Summit Lane and hit a tree just west of the city limits around 1:30. The driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to an area hospital. Carthage Fire, Jasper County deputies, and Mercy Ambulance all responded to the scene. Another crash yesterday involved a Jasper County deputy. The T-bone collision occurred at 20th and Main Street in Joplin. Both drivers were transported to a nearby hospital as a precaution. The crash is still under investigation. A head-on crash claims the life of a Pittsburgh teacher. The crash happened back on January 17th, just west of Pittsburgh. Troopers say a pickup was passing multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed when the collision happened. The driver of the truck, Craig Sylvie of Cherokee, died at the scene. The passenger of the car, Heather Burgess of Girard, suffered serious injuries. She was taken to an area hospital where she recently died of her injuries. The body of a missing Lake of the Ozarks woman is discovered in a crash. Crews responded to the crash on US 54 in Miller County yesterday. 35-year-old Amanda Rogers was located dead at the scene. Authorities reported Rogers missing on January 26th after she failed to pick up her children in the Camdenton area. While the investigation is ongoing, no foul play or suspicious circumstances are suspected. Our stories are often discovered by you, our viewers. We invite you to share your news tips with us. Scan this QR code and you'll be taken to a form where you can submit a tip quickly and easily. Thank you for being a part of the story. Southeast Kansas residents say they want transparency, not buyouts, from a proposed solar farm project in Crawford County. The debate over Shasta Power's proposed solar project in Crawford County continues as the company rolls out a revised proposal. County leaders say questions remain about how those changes are being communicated to residents. With the Olympics and Super Bowl right around the corner, scammers are ready to take advantage of sports bettors. Chris Bryan has things to keep in mind so you don't become a victim when placing a wager.
It's an exciting time. We love the Super Bowl, and so it's easy to get carried away. So just make sure that you're engaging properly, that when you do go ahead and choose a good platform and you've done your research.
The American Gaming Association says Americans are expected to wager nearly $1.76 billion on the Super Bowl this weekend.
Unsolicited links are always something to be suspicious of. That's a red flag. If you did not initiate the sports bettor, the wager, then it's best to leave that alone.
From the money line, point spread, total points, prop bets, and even parlays, the options when it comes to placing a wager this weekend seem endless. However, scammers will attempt to use fraudulent websites, promotions, social media, and even offshore sites to try to steal your money.
So they're counting on you to let your guard down and maybe click on a suspicious link or just engage with some sort of unknown platform that they really shouldn't. And so that's why it's really important that, number one, you make sure that it's legal to place a bet in your state, wherever you are, and also best to deal with sports books that are whitelisted, as the term is, meaning that they are approved by the local gaming commission.
And also be sure to read the fine print so you know what to expect if you win or lose.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. NASA prepares for its first crewed flight of a new rocket system with a major rehearsal. Plus, lawmakers work to end a partial shutdown while negotiating reforms to federal enforcement. And warm weather is set to return in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visited Cape Canaveral, Florida, where NASA is conducting a critical fueling test ahead of the historic Artemis II mission to the moon. The mission, scheduled for this month, will be NASA's first crewed flight of the Space Launch System rocket and Orion spacecraft. Teams are in the middle of a, quote, wet dress rehearsal. They're powering up the core stage to load hundreds of thousands of gallons of cryogenic fuel. Yesterday, Hegseth met with Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos, whose company is pausing space tourism flights to focus on building NASA's next-generation lunar lander.
Look at the thousands of square feet that make up this production site, where you produce the next generation of launch vehicles and spacecraft, like the New Shepard launch vehicle and the Blue Moon lander.
Secretary Hegseth, you've said that national security depends on the speed and capacity of America's industrial base. We agree. Blue Origin is committed to supporting national security to, through, and from space. The systems we're building today provide the asymmetrical advantages that America needs to lead.
The so-called wet dress rehearsal countdown for Artemis 2 continues as teams configure the launch system and spacecraft with gases and nitrogen. That's a key step in reducing fire hazards, protecting spacecraft systems, and ensuring mission safety. Well, the House Rules Committee is set to take up a funding package this afternoon to end the partial government shutdown that began this weekend. The Senate passed a deal Friday to separate out funding for the Department of Homeland Security, while lawmakers negotiate reforms to ICE. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Ahead of a key committee meeting Monday, House Speaker Mike Johnson expressed optimism that the partial government shutdown will soon be over.
Well, let's say I'm confident that we'll do it at least by Tuesday. We have a logistical challenge of getting everyone in town.
The House Rules Committee is considering the deal the Senate passed Friday, which separates out the Department of Homeland Security and provides just 2 weeks of funding so lawmakers can negotiate reforms to ICE in the wake of the deadly shootings by federal agents in Minneapolis last month. Some Democratic lawmakers in the House have signaled they will vote against the funding package, demanding real changes before ICE and Customs and Border Protection receive more funding.
For the Democrats to turn around and vote against it on Tuesday just to shut down the federal government makes no sense to me at all. I think the Speaker, the trick is getting it through the Rules Committee, and I believe that the Speaker would not do that if he didn't have the votes.
Democrats are calling for an end to roving patrols of ICE agents, tighter warrant rules, body cameras for all agents, and a ban on face coverings.
Taxpayer dollars should not be used to brutalize the American people, and in some instances, kill them.
Other government agencies are also affected by the partial shutdown, including the Department of Defense, the State Department, and the Treasury Department. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Congress already passed about half of the funding bills, so money for things such as the FDA and food assistance is not an issue this time around. Well, still to come, your sleep machine could be sabotaging your rest. Plus, warm weather is set to return in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your Tuesday forecast. Layla Edwards is set to make history as the first black female to represent the U.S. in Olympic hockey. Before heading to Milan, Italy, the 21-year-old is enjoying a memorable homecoming in Cleveland. Jared Hill has her story.
Layla Edwards has one heck of an icebreaker.
I started hockey just to do something, to stay busy.
Now, the college senior is the first black woman to represent USA Hockey on the ice at the Olympics.
As I got older and more familiar with the sport and continued to work at it, these things were becoming more of a reality.
USA Hockey coach John Wroblewski recognized Edwards' growth.
She's dialed in. She's changed positions. She goes from forward to D, Red Bull athlete. All of these things, they're inspiring to watch.
Before the trip to the games in Milan, Italy, USA Hockey scheduled a rivalry series game against Canada in Cleveland, Ohio, Edwards' hometown.
It feels like a full circle moment.
Her parents, Robert and Sharon, have been at their daughter's side throughout her journey. And thanks to a GoFundMe boost from fellow Ohio natives Travis and Jason Kelsey, they'll be there to cheer her on at the Olympics as well.
When you get that close and you can almost see it, it's like opening ceremony, watching her walk with all of those athletes that are representing their countries. That's pretty big.
With the games now just days away, there are a lot of eyes on this 6-foot-tall forward-turned defender. But her dad says they're trying to manage the pressure.
We're, trying our hardest, to make sure that she knows that it doesn't matter, how she performs, that, we love her to death.
All the hard work is worth it for sure.
Going for gold with Team USA, she's already turned her hard work into history. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, congratulations to her. It's clear she'll be a strong competitor. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Now, we have got a cooler day in store for us today, but it will only be a smidge below average. We are going to be cloudy, a little colder tomorrow, then the warm weather returns. We're going to break it all down for you when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 6:19. We'll be right back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
And we've got a cooler day in store for us today, especially compared to yesterday. We're going to be about 10 degrees cooler than yesterday, but we're not that far from normal, at least not today. We do have some clearing taking place this morning. Now, a lot of us are still mostly cloudy, but we do have a little clearing taking place. It will be brief. And then the clouds will start pushing back in by throughout the morning into the afternoon. We will be mostly cloudy. We'll have a north breeze at 5 to 10 and an isolated sprinkle or two. Not out of the question, just not very likely. Our mostly cloudy skies continue tonight and into tomorrow. Now tomorrow, though, going to be a smidge colder. We're going to be talking upper 30s, low 40s. Still above freezing, so some melting will take place, but definitely colder. I will still have that light northerly breeze, and again, an isolated sprinkle or two possible, just not really likely. Mostly cloudy skies. That's the fun phrase with this cold front. That's really the biggest thing it's done, is brought in more cloud cover. That continues Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but as we go through the morning and into the afternoon, those skies will begin to clear. Southwest winds start to pick up a bit, and we start to warm back up. So as we mentioned yesterday, this is a brief cool down. It's definitely a noticeable one, but it is brief before warmer temperatures settle back in for us. As for today, we're still technically, many of us, warmer this morning than where we were yesterday. Up north, we had some teens. We had mid-20s out there. This morning, we're mostly into the mid-30s. Yates Center's dropped into the upper 20s. We still have some 40s south of the front, but we're warmer than yesterday. However, our temperatures do not take that nice jump like they did yesterday. It's a slow rise into the upper 30s by 11 a.m. Into the afternoon we go, low mid-40s. As I mentioned, our normal highs this time of year into the upper 40s, so not a significant drop, at least from average, but definitely cooler, and we'll have that north wind 5 to 10. By late evening and into the overnight, winds expected to become calm. We're back to the mid-30s, still mostly cloudy, and seasonably cold tonight, back into the mid-20s. We'll be seasonably cold tomorrow night as well, into the mid-20s. With that said, a lot of the snow cleared out yesterday. That's good. But you still have those big piles in parking lots or on sides of roads and things like that. So melting that takes place today and tomorrow could refreeze overnight. So just keep that in mind. If you're traveling, watch out for some patchy slick spots. We're not expecting a widespread ice coverage by any means, but parking lots especially, where they get more melting done from those huge snow piles, definitely some slick spots, and on some of the side streets too. Just keep an eye out. So tomorrow, as I mentioned, colder, upper 30s, low 40s, still cloudy, seasonably cold overnight. Thursday, though, skies clearing, temperatures warming again into the low 50s, near 60 for Friday. I think everybody should have an extra day off this week to go out and enjoy Friday, because it's going to be pretty darn decent. We go into the weekend, still into the 50s. We'll have some rain chances late Sunday and possibly into early Monday. Scattered showers and storms possible on Tuesday. Again, right now, we're really far out. Nothing's looking severe at this point, but as we get closer, of course, we'll keep an eye on that for you. And still hanging out in the mid-50s, even on the other side of those rain chances. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. A warning for people who use sound machines or apps to fall asleep. A new study finds so-called pink noise, which is continuous noise that sounds like static or waterfall, may actually interfere with sleep recovery and reduce REM sleep. University of Pennsylvania researchers say earplugs were much more effective at blocking out outside noise and helping people get sleep. Well, physical therapy can be critical to help recover from accidents or injuries, but more therapists say you should consider booking a session when you're healthy. Bradley Blackburn explains why.
I'm pretty flexible now.
At age 87, Alan Siegel is the picture of health.
Same thing over here.
So you might wonder why he's working with physical therapist Karen Litzy.
Try and lift up as high as you can.
When he has no injuries and good mobility. It's because he wants to keep it that way.
Is staying active important to you?
Absolutely. Being active is the story of my life in many ways.
Hold.
Siegel played basketball in college, and he still plays sports.
I play tennis. I row canoes. I bike. I walk a lot.
But he says PT gives him something regular exercise can't.
I think it's healthier. It doesn't punish the body, rather it enhances the body in flexibility and mobility, and that's, to me, the most important thing.
A recent survey from the American Physical Therapy Association found 2/3 of Americans fear losing their mobility more than death.
It doesn't have to be running a marathon, but you should be able to get up out of a chair.
Litzy says professional physical therapy can help you adapt to age and extend your health span. That's the length, not just of life, but of good health.
I think a lot of people only think of physical therapy as something that can fix you, versus physical therapy being preventative so that you don't need to be fixed?
I can do 50 sit-ups now. I don't even know if I could do it when I was younger.
For Siegel, movement is life.
It's fun to see that at this age I can still do them.
And back out.
And PT helps him keep moving forward. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
According to the APTA survey, nearly 3 in 4 older Americans recognize that physical therapy can support healthy aging, but most haven't seen a therapist in over 5 years. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, MSSU tackles a critical nursing shortage by expanding its program.
And we are a little warmer this morning, a little cooler today, and clouds hanging around. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, data center opposition grows in Joplin. Residents prepare backup plans if the council vote fails.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6:31, I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, February the 3rd. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Made it through Monday. Monday, a pretty nice day across the area.
Day.
A lot of that snow went away. Not all of it, but quite a bit of it.
I felt safer, I was saying earlier this morning, I felt safer trying to leave my cul-de-sac, the little side streets in Joplin, because I'm like, there's not like a whole just like skating rink on the road right now.
It
mostly melted.
It was different backing out of the driveway and not hearing the crunch of the frozen snow and stuff under the tires. I was like, look at that. That's nice. There's still snow out there though, so we got to be cautious here and there because our concern becomes as we get a little colder tonight and tomorrow night, what does melt could refreeze. Now, most of what's left is those big piles in parking lots and whatnot, but still want to watch out for some patchy slick spots. Let's take a look outside at the lack of snow in downtown Pittsburgh. Now, yes, there's still some there, obviously, but most of it's gone now, which is certainly nice. Westco Camera 7th and Rangeline. Now, it gives us the example of the snow piles in the parking lots, and you can see the water streams coming off of these as well. Same over at Forest Park. Big piles of snow, and they're going to start to melt, and then at night they're going to refreeze, so you got to watch out for that. We're going to head over to the KDOT camera 69 just north of Baxter Springs. Looks good. Still snow on this side here, but not as much snow as there was yesterday. We had more snow covering, so it looks better. The other thing I want to talk about very quickly is 32nd and Rangeline, MoDOT camera here. See, sidewalks are starting to get better. Unfortunately, in a lot of the business areas, at least in Joplin, a lot of these sidewalks were still covered. Not all of them, but a lot of them. West 7th, that's the route I take coming back from the station, was notorious. I saw, let me rephrase this, I saw a lot of folks over the last 2 or 3 days walking in the streets on these busy roads because the sidewalks were completely covered and impassable. The problem is folks, thankfully many, including myself, saw these folks in time and moved out of the way, but I did see quite a few of them. They were on devices or had headphones or weren't paying attention. And I get you can't get on the sidewalk in some spots, but if you're out in the roads, especially these busier ones, you've got to be cautious, and drivers be cautious. Like I said, a lot of the sidewalks are clearer now, but still watch out for those who may be walking down the street there where snowpack is still on some of the sidewalks. All right, temperatures. Cold front down south. Bentonville, Cassville, Jay, the last 40-degree numbers remaining. Yates Center to the west of Iola is the cold spot at 29, most of us into the mid-30s. So we're actually technically still warmer this morning, even with the passing of the cold front. It's our highs that are going to be impacted. Some clearing taking place. It will be brief. Mostly cloudy skies will resume as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Maybe an isolated sprinkle or two, but nothing significant expected there. Kids out the door this morning, low 30s. We'll go low 40s by lunch and recess and mid 40s by the time they head home. Our temperatures through the morning, mid 30s by 9, low 40s by noon. We're looking at highs into the low to mid 40s. Average high is the upper 40s, so these temperatures not that far from average, but they will be about 10 degrees cooler than yesterday with that north breeze at 5 to 10. Now, we actually do get a little colder tomorrow. Then we'll turn around and start warming back up again. We'll talk about all of that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The Joplin City Council votes on the future of the historic Memorial Hall. The century-old building is on its way to a $17 million renovation through a public-private partnership. The Friends Memorial Hall Group asked for $7 million in city bonds funded by increasing the lodging tax from 4% to 6%. That tax would only be paid by overnight visitors at Joplin hotels, not by residents. Last night's vote approved the framework for the deal, but voters would still need to approve the tax increase in a future election.
We thought it was a very viable opportunity because it will not directly affect the citizens of Joplin. It's not a sales tax on us. It's not a property tax or a personal property tax. It's actually going to be a tax on those people that come through Joplin and visit and stay in our hotels and motels.
Last night's decision is one step closer to saving the Veterans Memorial from demolition and creating a community hub for downtown Joplin. The renovations would restore the building's 2,200 seat capacity and create a space for weddings, concerts, community events, and a new home for the American Legion. Missouri Southern State University doubles its nursing program capacity this spring. Previously, the university accepted just 30 nursing students each fall. Now the program welcomes an additional 20 students every spring semester. The change creates 4 active student groups and allows up to 100 students to progress through the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program simultaneously. Mercy Hospital Joplin is funding the expansion to address the 4-state region's critical shortage of qualified nurses. Well, opposition over a proposed data center grows in Joplin. Later this month, the Joplin City Council will once again discuss the proposed Wildwood Ranches annexation, land that's earmarked to build a data center. KOAM's Kenny Vorman finds out what concerned Joplin residents are doing to ensure their voices are heard.
After the voting did not go in her favor at the January 20th meeting, Rebecca Collins, president of the Joplin Sustainable Technology Alliance, felt determined to give the council more to think about the next time around.
They cannot tell an individual citizen what to do with their property, but that's where the citizens of Joplin can step in, and we can use our voice to say, hey, we know that there's a proposed data site going in this property, and we are not okay with that. So if the city isn't going to step up and call for their own moratorium, then we will.
She helped initiate a petition calling for a moratorium and environmental study to be put in place before the city can go forward with plans for a proposed data center. In just a few short days, many Joplin residents signed it, letting the city know how they feel about the property.
If we can gather, a couple hundred people to show up at a city council meeting, that's nothing compared to allowing the entirety of the community to know exactly what they're voting for, exactly what they would get out of this project. So I think the biggest thing is allowing the community to have their voice heard in as many ways as possible.
And in the event that the voting doesn't go in their favor, the petitioners don't anticipate accepting defeat right away.
If the council does go ahead and annex the property at the city council meeting, then we will go ahead and push for a referendum, which would ask to overturn the council's decision on that and put it on the ballot so the citizens of Joplin can vote.
In any event, Collins is confident that her community will back each other up when it matters most.
The community has really stepped up. So this has been a grassroots movement where community members have been texting each other, posting in the Facebook page, really just getting the word out, putting boots on the ground. So it's been really inspiring to see.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The February 17th council vote will be held at MSSU in order to accommodate more people following higher than usual attendance at last month's meeting. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A major sports network finalizes a deal to acquire key NFL properties, the media merger, and what it means for viewers. Plus, a retiree takes the ultimate vacation with a private jet trip around the world. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, ESPN has finalized its deal to acquire NFL Network, NFL Fantasy, and the rights to Red Zone. The NFL gets a 10% stake in ESPN as part of the deal. In a statement, the two companies said NFL employees will begin integrating into ESPN in the months ahead, though ESPN says viewers are not expected to notice changes until the spring. Horror flicks ruled the box office over the weekend in North America. Send Help took the top spot, scaring up an estimated $20 million, while Iron Lung earned over $17 million at number 2. Melania, the documentary profiling First Lady Melania Trump, had a strong debut, coming in third with an estimated $7 million. Well, a trip around the world may sound like something only found in an adventure novel, but more Americans are choosing to embark on the epic journey in lavish style or a more budget fashion. In today's Travel Tuesday, CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette hops aboard and shows us how to make it a reality.
Live from Peru. Retiree Randy Goodwin from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, clearly embraced every part of his recent private jet trip around the world with the travel agency Safran's Dumont.
New horizon, new adventure.
From a luxury Belmont train to see the wonders of Machu Picchu, absorbing the culture of Easter Island in Chile, and its stone statues, the indulgence of an overwater bungalow room at Conrad Bora Bora Nui in French Polynesia.
This is the main street of Sydney.
To walking some of the world's great capital cities and ancient sites. Goodwin and his fellow passengers experienced a whirlwind 9-destination jaunt around the world.
I love it. It's quick, efficient.
The World Tour makes the same stops every fall. The journey lasts almost a month, limited to 50 guests on board.
It's a life-changing experience.
Paired with an onboard bar cart and lounge area. The company, born in France, invited us on a portion of the trip, which features French champagne and wine and a native chef on board.
We are very happy to be French and very proud, so we want to share that.
The trip starts at a cool $100,000, part of Goodwin's travel-heavy retirement strategy.
Like everything else, you got to plan for it. It just doesn't happen. So this is the brass ring at the end of the long road.
There are more budget brass rings, using saved points or miles, or working with an around-the-world specialty travel agency like AirTrex.
One thing that people might find surprising is that an around-the-world ticket can be purchased for as little as $3,000 or maybe 150,000 miles.
Star Alliance and One World offer round-the-world tickets through their partners. There are tight restrictions, such as a minimum and maximum number of flights, starting and ending in the same country, and traveling east or west with no backtracking. But it could still be your ticket around the world in 80 days, or just 18. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
AirTrex suggests a daily spend to accrue enough points for an around-the-world ticket. For economy class, sign up for a 1.5-time multiplier credit card and spend $10 a day for 18 months to build up enough miles for that magic ticket. That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, again, we've got some clouds for some of you out there, and others seeing a little clearing, and then the clouds will return as we head through the morning into the afternoon. A little cooler today as well, and then another warm up later this week. Details on all of that when we come back. All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays, and we are going to start in Thayer with Briar Thornton celebrating number 8. Happy birthday.
And in Pittsburgh, Kai Miranda is celebrating birthday number 11. Happy birthday, Kai.
And we have Kingston celebrating birthday number 13 today. Happy birthday.
And in Seneca, Missouri, Ryder Murphy celebrating birthday number 14. It says happy birthday from Mom, Dad, Rinley, Balin, and Nanny. Happy birthday, Ryder.
And over to Columbus for Brody Matson celebrating birthday number 17. It says love you so much. We're so proud of you, with love from Aunt Jennifer and Grandma Patty.
And in Springfield, Blake Mackinson is celebrating birthday number 31. It says love Nene and Chad. Happy birthday, Blake.
And over in Erie, we've got Lois Carlson celebrating number 84 today. A very happy birthday to you, Lois.
And we can't forget Ann Ruth Benedict celebrating another year older and wiser. Happy birthday, Ann.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. And if you would like to celebrate with us, it is very easy to do.
It's so easy to do. You should just pay attention to this email you can see on your screen right now. It's birthdays@koemnewsnow.com. That's where you can send your photos, your birthdays, your anniversaries for you or your special person. But also make sure you pay attention to that deadline you can see on your screen, so that way we can make sure we get it submitted in plenty of time to be able to celebrate with you on your special day.
Very important information there, and some very important information for you from the weather department, as we will be a little cooler today. You'll want that jacket, but it's not going to be awful. We're only a few degrees below average, but we will be about 10 degrees cooler than what we saw for highs yesterday. All right, so here's a look at the future track. There's actually some clearing right now taking place out west, but it will be brief. And then the clouds will pick back up and we'll go back to mostly cloudy skies as we roll through the day. And we'll continue with that through the afternoon, the evening, the overnight, and into tomorrow. An isolated sprinkle or two today or tomorrow possible, just not very likely. We'll have those mostly cloudy skies. That's going to be the main thing. Light north breeze today at 5 to 10. Same tomorrow. Calm winds overnight. So at least with the drop in temperatures with this cold front this morning, we don't have to deal with the gusty winds, putting those wind chills much lower. It's going to be okay. Not great, but not terrible either as we head through the next couple of days. So we're still pretty cloudy throughout most of the day on Wednesday and into Wednesday night. Now, as we head into Thursday morning, skies gradually begin to clear. And by Thursday afternoon, the sun shows back up. Winds shift out of the southwest. Could be a bit gusty, but it will start bringing in warmer air again. So as we talked about the other day, this is just a brief cool down. Not a big one, but a brief one. But we will be a little colder tomorrow than what will be today. So we got to get through all of that as well. As for today, you can see in Joplin, cloudy skies still. Again, some clearing off to the west, be brief. We're be in the low 30s to start. So many of us warmer, in fact, I think all of us are warmer this morning than where we were yesterday. We had upper teens in the north. We had mid-20s in the middle region, some low 30s down south. This morning, we've got Yates Center was the coldest spot so far this morning at 29. Everybody else is pretty much in the mid-30s. And then down south ahead of the front. So Cassville, Bentonville, Jay still hanging out in the low 40s, but that front continuing to push through. We'll eventually be into the upper 30s. By 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today into the low to mid 40s. And bear in mind, our average high is the upper 40s. So, like I said, in terms of norms, we're not that far from normal. We're a little cooler. But, again, compared to yesterday, it's about a 10-degree drop from where we were yesterday afternoon. And those north winds 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy skies will continue through the evening. And that, of course, slows the temperature drop. Doesn't stop it, but slows it. Mid-30s by 10. And we are seasonably cold tonight. So, yeah, the mid-20s, not a lot of fun. But that's about where we're supposed to be for this time of year. Winds expected to be calm late this evening and overnight, and again, still mostly cloudy. Same as we head into our Wednesday, but as I mentioned, a little colder. We're into the upper 30s and low 40s, still seasonably cold tomorrow night. With that said, while most of the snow that remains is a lot of those big piles on parking lots, there's still some snow on side roads, sidewalks, things like that. So it could refreeze tonight and tomorrow night. So just keep that in mind. Keep an eye out for some slick spots tonight, tomorrow night, where we do get some of that melting again, especially in parking lots where there's those big piles of snow out there. But by Thursday, it's not going to matter so much. We're back in the low 50s, near 60 on Friday, and I think everybody should have Friday off just to go out there and enjoy it. Get out of the house for a minute. I have some rain chances late Sunday, back into the low 60s to start next week. A few scattered showers and storms possible next Tuesday, hanging out in the mid 50s beyond that for next week. So a nice little warm up after this brief cool down. Let's check your forecast. We'll have another look at your forecast and your wake-up recap in just a moment. And when we transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., a luxurious new McDonald's item debuting for Valentine's Day. Yeah, McLuxury. We'll have a look at that and a lot more at 7 a.m.
This is your Wake Up Recap for February 3rd, your top stories to start your day. Missouri State Highway Patrol is investigating a DWI crash near Carthage yesterday. Troopers say a southbound SUV left Country Club Road near Summit Lane and hit a tree just west of the city limits around 1:30. The driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to an area hospital. Carthage Fire, Jasper County deputies, and Mercy Ambulance all responded to the scene. Another crash yesterday involved a Jasper County deputy. The T-bone collision occurred at 20th and Main Street in Joplin. Both drivers were transported to a nearby hospital as a precaution. The crash is still under investigation. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, as we head through the morning, we'll have some clouds out there. Some of you clearing briefly before more clouds push in. Low 30s to start, upper 30s by 11 o'clock. Our highs today, low mid 40s, average highs upper 40s. So we're not that far from normal, but definitely cooler than yesterday. North winds about 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy through the evening, mid 30s by 10. Seasonably cold again overnight, so that's about where we should be. Into the mid 20s. Still mostly cloudy. Winds expected to be calm. North winds 5 to 10 again tomorrow. A little colder though, upper 30s and low 40s out there. And then we'll see temperatures turn around by Thursday. Gusty southwest winds near 60 Friday. Rain chances Sunday. A few scattered showers and storms possible next Tuesday. We kick off the next work week though with the low 60s out there for some of us. So this is just a brief little cool down. We'll get through it since we made it through the last 2 weeks, and it's going to be pretty nice after that.
You know, I just remind myself, it was a whole lot colder last week, so this is great.
Yes, it was. This is still not bad.
Yeah, well, thanks, Chris. Coming up today at noon, we're making peanut butter bacon bars in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
As your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings, coming up, a woman known as Jane Doe, who testified against R. Kelly in court, is now speaking out in her first television interview and tells Jerika Duncan about reclaiming her name.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Charlene Patton with the Kansas Soybean Commission is joining us to show us how to make another one of her delicious recipes.
And the Joplin Public Library hosting their annual Black History Fair this Saturday. We're going to hear more from librarian Christina Matikel Gibson coming up. However, it's going to wrap things up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.